Is it
Is it okay if I touch you? Yeah? Okay, cool.
Is it okay if I touch you?
in today's era, long-running series slash 100 plus episode shows is very rare. The industry nowadays is basically overflowing with more and more animes releasing every year. It's a fundamentally fucked system. Studios picking up a lot of projects that they know they couldn't handle because some producers have a fear that projects might not come to them anymore, or the Gigachat studios where they only do a couple of shows each year and actually have a really good scheduling and environment. Most shows now can't even do a single core release without having production issues or a massive reliance of outsourcing. That's why the idea of separate core releases or just calling it a season 2, even though it's not a season 2, is the new trend. The trend. Like the Thug Shake. I have a video about the whole Core 2 Season 2 shenanigans. That was 8 months ago. I'm more knowledgeable now. And I don't sound depressed now. Back then, shows actually make sense with season 2s being a continuation. Well, it still does now, but sometimes the cutoff doesn't feel like a season 2. It feels more like a episode 12 to episode 13 rather than a episode 12 to a season 2 episode 1. I might have overcooked there. This is again how the industry is nowadays. There is examples of studios that had to sacrifice their schedule because the amount of high profile projects that they're picking is putting a lot of strain to the staff. Mappa is the biggest example of these practices. Rather than picking up girls in a dungeon, it's locking up girls and guys in their dungeon. After Masao Maruyama left Mappa to make M2 Studio, Mappa went under a massive change with Manabu Otsuka as the CEO of the studio, producing some of the most rushed product ever in anime, producing JJK Season 2 with only about 7 to 8 months of a high octane show that's consecutive 2 cores, with also having an episode being episode 17 of season 2 that only had a couple of weeks of production time when these Hakuyugo episodes should take at least 4 to 6 months to make. Dogokobo went from a studio that mainly produced cute moe stuff that I enjoy, not in that way, with a reasonable schedule. They now lean in more on the romance and more mainstream stuff. While it went well at first, projects keeps getting more and more demanding and leading to even shows that's with different production lines get overlapped. Long-running shows was one of the staples of anime, I guess. The industry was fundamentally different back then. Less shows were being produced, more talent are available, not stuck in one production, and the idea of webtoon animators was only started to be more reliant with shows like Naruto Shippuden, more so about trusting newer slash younger animators for more important roles to do the big bazooka moments. Then you get trashed by the fandom being, this was doo-doo, poo-poo, piece of shit. It's a fucked schedule because you are basically releasing one episode per week for years. And most of these shows get handicapped by the bad animation. Some episodes can look very wonky, weird, a bit. Some episodes have to be sacrificed so that the more prioritized episodes get that quality for the climactic payoff. The big issue is the filler episodes can be troublesome. These are breaks for the studio to give more time on the priority episodes. Even Gintama clowned on the idea of fillers. That was hilarious. Or the actual fillers is a fight that could take 1 or 2 episodes and make it 5 to 6 episodes long. Or it can be like Dragon Ball. Almost done. Okay. Just kidding. The studios that really produce a lot of these long-running shows are mainly Studio Pierrot, Clown, and Toei Animation. I know there's more, but we're focusing on these two. Toei has definitely changed compared to how their reputation was back then because of a show about a person that can't find the One Piece for almost 3 decades now, but their poor handling of Dragon Ball was one of the reasons why the studio was not really in a lot of people's favorites. Some Dragon Ball episodes looked horrendous because time. They have the talent, but managing a long-running series without good planning and good allocation of resources is not gonna go well. You can see with the new Dragon Ball Daima or any other Toei projects that doesn't force weekly episodes for years can look really good because again, time. One Piece is still an anomaly project. The fact that it's a long-running series and most of the episodes can look amazing a bar above amazing. It's unprecedented how they can keep that quality. Of course, because of the in-house One Piece team for the show, and one of the rare examples of a project that actually used newer slash younger animators to have them show off their talent. It's crazy how this project even is a thing in today's era of anime productions. Not saying everything is all colorful and flowers blah, blah, blah. In that studio. Again, it's the anime industry. There's still shitty stuff happening and animators fighting. Studio Pierrot is an interesting case, a bad one of that. They did produce 2 out of the big three shonen anime, Naruto and Bleach. They are prone to bad productions even till this day. Yes, a tweet said that Pierrot is changing. If I can find the tweet, I'll be honest to you, I don't believe Pierrot will change. Their handling on Naruto and Bleach is probably the better example. While the consistency is all over the place, Naruto's director wanted to make the highs of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden to be memorable. In doing that, they just outsourced a lot of the episodes so that the climactic moments can shine with their own resource managing, allocating a couple of standout animators and directors to do the bulk of certain episodes. Same goes for Bleach. To be honest, I don't really know much about old Bleach's conditions, production stuff, so yeah. But the opposite side is Black Clover and Boruto. You know, the one that teased us with the first episode being, "It's over for the Leaf Village, Ramen Village, whatever." Then 293 episodes later, they didn't get to it and just ended for now. Boruto was another Pierrot special of dog shit after dog shit after dog shit. Then dinosaurs, and probably had some of the best peaks of the long-running series by the studio. Black Clover was a hellhole in disguise, especially for the director, Tachiya Ishihara. Black Clover and Boruto was produced at the same time, so Pierrot focused all of their resources to Boruto, then left Yoshihara, the director for Black Clover, with basically nothing. No support from an actual studio. Even though Pierrot's name is still stamped on the show, he was the director and animation producer for Black Clover, using his own connections and desperately needing more help / animators, even tweeting to get some more people in the project on Twitter. The show turned out to be very inconsistent, but with Yoshihara's efforts and a lot of his friends, also freelancers, to help him do the high priority / climactic episodes, it looked really great with inconsistencies because time and the studio being clowns. They also had help from other studios with a lot of the episodes being outsourced. It's not a surprise a buttfuck of the episodes were outsourced. Even animation producers from those studios went on to be the main animation producer for multiple episodes because an anime's job is to contact talent and manage the schedule time with the help of some production assistants. To explore on outsourcing, the anime industry does rely a lot on outsourcing, especially to Chinese and Korean studios. You know, the K-pop Jungkook people and the main... Okay. No. The term outsourcing episodes does not mean that if an episode does have other studios helping, that's not it. 95% or more anime productions does have outsourcing or other studios helping. Mostly the key animation, second key animation, or in-betweenings. That's the norm. Yes, there are sometimes different studios in charge on the more important roles. Every high-profile good-looking shows have different studios on these areas because some people that worked on that specific episode was from that studio. Outsourcing episodes come from mainly the production phase. The storyboards are usually done in pre-production, while directing, compositing, and such is post-production. The production stage is where most of the moving elements comes to play. Like majority of the outsourcing episodes are from the animation stuff, is by different studios doing the bulk of it. The bad examples of this is using it to put out an episode because the studio didn't have time to actually produce all the episodes on time, so they just outsource it to different studios or subcontracted studios. A recent example is Uzumaki and Blue Lock. They looked way worse. They got people walking like Jesus there in Uzumaki. There's a lot more, like, let's say, studios that's not really capable of producing shows, or studios that produce way too much shows, that leans to the idea of this. JC Staff and Enki are a culprit of this. Multiple episodes are outsourced because time. Of course, that's not the only studios, but a good example of outsourcing is good planning. Good planning is essential for just anime productions. Even when it comes to outsourcing, the idea of this should be early into the production or in the pre-production stage. It shouldn't be a late decision that the studio only realized later in the production that they can't produce all the episodes on time, so they just pushed it over to another studio with barely any time to do. There's a lot of examples, but a good outsourcing is to keep the quality consistent like the other episodes from the main studio, or maybe make it look better. Some outsourced Frieren episodes still maintain a good consistent quality, and Attack on Titan Final Season Episode 4 was outsourced to Cygame Pictures, and it looked way better compared to some of the MAPPA episodes. Or you can just look at this season of anime right now. Apothecary Diaries Season 2 Episode 6 was outsourced to C Station, and it was probably the best looking episode in Season 2 for now. 100 Girlfriends Season 2 Episode 4 was outsourced to Parts Craft, and it looked great. And Medalist Episode 5 was outsourced to Mighty Max Movies. It still looked amazing. You get the idea. While the era of long-running series is probably over for now, we can't deny that seasonal releases, while it can be bad for impatient dumbasses that can't wait a couple of months, this pattern is definitely better for animes, mainstream animes, although still a lot of production issues at that. If you guys like this video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a like. Comment down below what are your thoughts on Sasuke being a great dad and not being present in his kid's life. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.